Great.
So our robot utilizes 3 different motors and 3 different sensors. We have 2 large motors that act as the drive wheels, 1 medium-sized motor that controls this arm right here, which captures the ball. And we have a sonar sensor which allows the robot to avoid obstacles such as boxes and walls. We have the color sensor that can tell the difference between a blue and a red ball depending on which team we are on. And finally, we have the light sensor, which allows the robot to tell whether or not it's reached the goal line based on the black electrical tape. So as we mentioned before, the sonar sensor avoids obstacles, light sensor senses the goal line. The color sensor right here, depending on which team we're on, will either allow the robot to avoid the ball, or in this case of a blue ball, this arm will come down and capture it. This way, the robot can guide the ball to the goal line, lift up the arm, and then proceed to kick the ball in. Okay, so depending on which team we're on, whether it be red or blue, we have 2 sets of codes on the robot already pre-installed. That way we can go ahead and decide on which one we want to go for. Right now we'll go ahead and demonstrate blue. So if I were to go ahead and start the robot, the intent is that the ball will guide into these little arms right here. So if it picks up the wrong ball, such as a red ball, the robot will avoid it and try to seek out a different type or a different color ball. So on this. Now, let's say there is no ball available. The robot will still be able to avoid obstacles such as walls and boxes, utilizing the ultrasonic sensor. Now, if it happens to pick up the intended color ball, this blue ball right here, the robot will capture it. Now, it can still avoid obstacles. And hopefully that would represent a goal.
Now we did find that sometimes we kind of had an issue depending on the shading of the tape. For some reason the one in the classroom was actually more respondent to the one outside, but it was half and half.
Yeah, so the tape that we used to test was a lot more reliable. For some reason the tape that was actually used for the World Cup project did not yield the same results. So now we're going to go ahead and demonstrate the robot's performance by switching up the colors. So now it should avoid the blue ball and try to capture the red ball to try to score a goal. Now, before we start, we'll just go ahead and take a look at the robot's ability to avoid obstacles one more time, using the ultrasonic sensor. Now, if I were to place a blue ball right here, color sensor should read that and avoid that blue ball. On the other hand, if we were to receive a red ball, the arm goes down and we should be able to approach this black tape, which represents the goal line, which then results in the robot scoring a goal. One more time.
So ultimately, you could also detect the balls, like so it would it would detect it with the sonar sensor.
Yeah. So let's see this one more time. Oh. We also programmed, as you can see right there, as Revelio was mentioning, the ability for the robot to avoid other balls using the sonar sensor, and also when it approaches the goal line, not only does it try to kick the ball in, but we also had to program the robot to turn fully around to avoid getting stuck into the goal line area.